Hi there. I'm just gonna do a talk today, and I want to talk about the fact that there is no soul. You see this all the time. I mean, I use the word soul because I know what people know what I'm talking about. They think I'm meaning what's within them, their heart space, their feelings, and they think that is them. But when you actually go a little bit deeper, you realize there is no soul because there is no self. And the reason there is no self is because it's like there is no God also. There is just nothing, because everything has to start from nothing. Therefore, it can only ever be nothing. And the next question is, well, how do I appear to exist? How does this seem real? Well, because to produce something from nothing, the nothing would have to be aware. It would have to be, and because nothingness is infinity, that it would be an infinite awareness. Even though that you're not consciously awake, you're still, when you're sleeping, you're still vibrationally going on, right? So it's awareness in a different form or different way. And that's all it can be, is a dream. And that's what the nothingness would have to be. If you go to the right core, which is nothingness, and if that's the least we can be, then we would have to be awareness within that in order to produce an experience at least. Right? And so there is no self and soul as we perceive it. It's like science states that clearly, science clearly states that reality is holographic. Our bodies are holographic. We live in a simulation holographic computer that's not real. But it's this infinite energy system, this awareness that produces it. But it's all one, you see. That's what oneness really means. It means that there's one infinite nothingness and infinite awareness, and that there can never be separation in that. Everything is an infinite non-dual. But the duality, the two, comes from awareness, because awareness, you've got the experience and the experiencer, right? You are the awareness, but you're aware of a something. And that presents infinite separation, apparent separation. But it's actually, but that's just the illusion of one awareness, but it's actually just one. The two is actually one thing, observing itself, you see. And this is stuff that when I had this unexpected spiritual awakening, I awakened to. So you can imagine how gobsmacked and insane it seemed to perceiving all this. And everyone wants to be awakened spiritually now. It's like a trend, a fad that they all want to be light workers. You see them on the internet, they always write. I don't have that written on my social media. All it says is spiritual guidance singer. Very, very simple, very minimal, this kind of thing. Because when you love the more we try to tell the world what we are, the less we love ourselves within. And I've learned that the more I love myself within, the less I wanted to show the world. That's why on my Facebook, I probably show the least on my bio on the internet about myself than probably most people. It just says, bio says spiritual guide / singer. Because I don't feel the need for that anymore. Because in awakening, your ego starts dying when you wake up. Because you realize, because the ego, people talk about the ego and they don't understand what the ego actually is. They don't understand these things that they're saying. They talk about the ego, the self. They're both the same and they both don't exist, right? The ego is merely just an idea. Everything's an idea. Everything is just an idea that starts from nothing, right? And everything in this world is that. And that's why I laugh at labels, because everything is made up by people, but people repeat it, and that's when the problems come. This is how they mind control you. You know, but everything is, like I say, it's all made up. And everything is just like a perceptual state of awareness, and there's infinite ways to look at things. You know, infinite ways. You know, and in awakening, what happens is my awakening was unexpected. I didn't even know what a spiritual awakening was. You know, I didn't even know it was called that. It took me years, a good few years, to work out what it actually was through watching videos on YouTube of other people and stuff, and it's not a nice experience. Everyone wants this, but you know, you probably won't have to go through a bad experience if you listen to someone like me, because I think that people like myself have that bad experience so that you don't have to have it. But, you know, and I had to go through a lot of healing. It doesn't have to be as painful as that. There's a nice way to do things, there's a horrible way to do things. And I was paying back, I know that I was paying back a lot of karmic stuff, right? And things that I created in my own imagination and head when I was going through my awakening. That's why I was like in peak fear for about a week. But going back, you know, everything is just made up. You know, it's crazy. You know, I think that, you know, people talk, it's like mental illness. That's another thing that makes me laugh, because people, you hear it all the time, this person's got schizophrenia, or they got bipolar, or, you know, and they all call these mental illness people like delusional. But science clearly states that we're all delusional because reality isn't real as we think it is. And yet these people that are making up these labels of mentally ill would actually probably argue with you that this is a physical world. So it's like these the real delusional ones are calling everyone else delusional. Like the narcissists call everyone else a narcissist. We are what we perceive. Everything we perceive and see is a reflection of ourselves. And it's like that. And I think that that's a mental illness in itself, to feel so insecure and paranoid within you that you have to label everyone as mentally ill because they think differently to you. So I think this is a mental illness. I think that's what that is. That's a mental illness. But I mean, because why can't people just let be? Right? There's infinity way to think about things, so just let it go. Why can't people do that? Because they don't like themselves enough. Like I said earlier, but I don't feel this need to try and project my way on social media. Like, it's very simple on my bio on Twitter, on Instagram, it just says spiritual guide and singer. And doesn't mention my songwriting, doesn't mention all the other stuff I do or talk about, interests. Because, like I say, when you like yourself, you don't feel the need for this. This is why people don't understand that when you wake up, why does the need go away? And they might think this is boring. It's not that it's boring. The reason that you're bored and you're seeking externally is because you don't feel good when you're in stillness. Once you start to feel better in stillness, you lose that desire because it feels better to be here. Because you're not feeling so bad within yourself that you need to move. It's the reason why people want things and chase and all this kind of stuff, is because they don't like themselves. They don't like their own energy, but you are enough. You know, solitude learned me how to love myself. I didn't love myself. And that I awakened in solitude. And, you know, that's it. I awakened in solitude. But how does anyone awaken? You understand that you can go to any healer. You could be in a room full of spiritually awakened, like spiritual masters. You're not going to awaken like them. The only way you awaken is you have to go on your own unique. Everyone's got their own unique journey. Even spiritually awakened people have got their own path. Following someone else, that's their journey. And that's their unique way, but there's an infinity of ways to go. You see? So you have to find your own journey, and that can only be found through going within and letting your feelings lead the way. That's all I'm doing, right? You know, I said earlier, soul is fictional. You know, let your soul lead the way, but it is fictional. Everything's fictional. Like I say, everything's made up by, you know, like Steve Jobs said, everything's made up by people who are no more smarter than you. But the problem comes when we repeat this. That's why the education system exists. It's about programming people to repeat the system's official way, and so that you don't see any other possibility outside of it. Like if a little kid was to say in school 1 and 1 equals 1, they would be wrong, you see, but they'd actually be right. If you understand, once everything's 1. But the education system is about programming children to only see from one angle. So to get people in this tiny mind prison. That's what it's all about. So they take all these labels and actually think that's the way it is. They don't have any idea that it's actually just made up. Everything is made up, because if everything has to start from nothing, then that means everything would have to be made up thereafter. It also means that there's no start point, right? It means that there's no beginning, because if nothingness is infinity. That means that we're going somewhere, but we've already been there. There's an infinity to go. That's what it really means. That's it. But anyway, I'm just going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it, everything falls in divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching. Thank you.